Well, thank you, Marina, and thank you all. It's happy to see some of you that we met before several times, Maka and other friends here. As Josa says, we are here as friends of your countries, of your country. Well, first, I apologize not to have been able to join you this morning. I'm very sorry for that, but it's crazy, this period before the summer break. I can't enter on the figures on the assessment of the compliance or not of the 12 points. We have to wait for the Commission assessment, more complete and more nuanced and more in detail. But I would like about, let's say, the political mood that is created between European Union and Georgia is not the best. Why? Because you said, Maka, judge us because of our achievements. If the achievements are only to calculate in percentages the compliance with the 12 points, it's not enough. This is about the tuning. This is about the political mood. This is about the feeling that you are approaching and not divergent. You know, and my colleagues, they all know, I have been very critical with the decision of the Commission not to grant the candidacy statute for Georgia. It's a big political mistake. And it's a big political mistake because it was not true that it was made to help the country. Because if the rationale of the decision was to decrease polarization, of course, that fueled polarization because it's a perfect setting for a opposition saying to a government, you failed in the most important task in the last century. And of course, that creates more polarization. And the people on the other side of the Rubeliar, they knew perfectly. It was a political partisan big mistake. But you have helped a lot after this big mistake. I think you didn't have the cold mind to say, okay, this is a very difficult situation, but don't enter in the game. Don't enter in the game of some colleagues in the Parliament abusing the content of some resolutions and talking about things that were not in the real scope of our interests as the European Union, patronizing, advising, and treating Georgia like a minor age country. But it's a fact that we are diverging, Maka. And we are diverging because, as I said, even if you do the right thing, and I only can applaud that you can hear with saying this is what we have done on the 12 points, this is not enough. I repeat, this is about the political general stance of the country, more represented by your authorities than from some bureaucrats creating percentages. And the general orientation of the country, as is perceived in Brussels, maybe we are mistaken, our perception is Georgia is diverging from the European political setting, principles and values and others. This booklet, it doesn't match with the statements of your Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is another universe, completely different than whatever you said in this. This is, we are approaching, and your Prime Minister is happy to visit all the world, saying quite strange things for a country that, for being the Prime Minister of a country that wants to be a candidate country of the European Union. The continuous quarrel with the President, whatever is the political difficulties normal in a presidential or a semi-presidential system, they always have this quarrel. You can publicize every week your diverging points with the President. You have to solve this. I remember the President was very conducive when we both needed to pardon some people. But the public sacrifice was not done for us or for the government. It was the President who takes the responsibility of doing things a little bit on the edge of what we are calling to Georgia about the rule of law. The narrative of the war. Your Prime Minister simply bought the Russian narrative of the war is a consequence of the extending NATO stuff. But what is this? Do you really want to approach the European Union? Do you simply endorse the Russian narrative on that? To quarrel every week with Zelensky is not useful. I think President Zelensky could be criticized like any other ruler in the world. But in this particular moment in which the country has suffered a war of aggression, without any reason, without any kind of alibi for the aggressors, everyone has to be empathic with the country. Even supporting even a statement coming from Ukraine that in any other situation could be criticized harshly. But in this situation, you have to be empathic, in my view, or at least to refrain, criticize publicly President Zelensky. But you can convey your messages by diplomatic ways. The reflections, well, the reflections of the Prime Minister of LGTB are useless. Do you really need to come to Europe to say that kind of things? This is needed. This is helping your task here, coming, all of you, convincing us of that you are doing the right thing. I would like to be very precise. Mr. Orban is a legitimate president of a member country of the European Union. And your Prime Minister is completely entitled to enjoy the company, the political company of Mr. Orban. But you have to be aware, the door you are choosing to enter the European Union, if it is the Orban door, is a door not revolving door. It is a door only conducting to the outside of the European Union. This is not a passerelle, a bilateral passerelle. This is not the best door to enter the European Union. Not because Mr. Orban is a conservative leader. No, because he is conducting anti-European policies. This is not about to judge if you prefer to join instead of the Social Democrats, as it happened in the past, that you want to join a Conservative Party. No, this is completely legitimate. You can choose your partner in the European Union, whatever is your place. But if you choose to try to enter the European Union by the hands of the people, attacking the European Union and spreading anti-European narrative, my friendly advice is try to choose another door. On Saakashvili, I know that in the European Parliament, the opposition parties in Georgia has spread this strange, to me, narrative of Saakashvili being a leader or a champion of human rights. This is a joke. But Saakashvili could be the victim of a political situation. One thing is to be a victim of an abuse of the human rights. Other thing is to be a champion of human rights, like some Sweden or Swedish body passed the message. What I said in this parliament repeatedly is, I don't want to patronize you. I think it's better for the country, if you want to reduce polarization, to suspend the prison term of Mr. Saakashvili and to authorize the transferring outside to be treated. Not pardon, not recognizing political prisoner, to suspend the prison term in legal terms just for health reasons. You don't have to recognize anything that could be not conducive for your government, because it's the only way to really overcome this situation in which the opposition in your country isn't one single issue opposition. Everything is about Saakashvili. You are not able as a country to enter in a new, fresh political agenda because you are entangled, you are mixed, you are sticked in one single issue. And for this other reason, to decrease polarization and to give an opportunity to a new agenda, I think it's good for the country, to retire this factor from the equation and try to talk about these reforms. I agree with the colleague, depolarization is not a thing that we only can ask for the government or for the institution. Polarization means there are different extremes of, and I know for sure that I know your country always has been more polarized than others. This is a level to start, but I think we have to be fair, and we can put the blame the same in the government and in the opposition. And if for the opposition polarization is conducive, we have to put the opposition on the same level of the government. You are the government, you have more responsibility, you have to be more flexible, you have to be more patient, you have to try to encounter the ways, but we have to be consistent with our message. If the polarization has been conducive for the opposition parties, and the opposition parties prefer the polarization settings because they have an agenda not addressed to electoral gains, but other ways to come out of this situation. We from the European Parliament, the European institutions, we have to blame on the opposition the same we have blamed to the government in many other things. Sorry for being so long, and I would like really to encounter the way that having you on board and having you on board as a fully fledged democracy. You have a lot of friends here, Maca and friends.